Welcome back. We help you unlock your inner strength, reclaim your peace, and step into the life you deserve without chasing anyone's approval. Do you really believe this is all you're worth? You think this is the life you were meant to live? Sitting around, hoping, convincing yourself that one day they'll open their eyes and see you, really see you, enough. You're done wasting your energy, pouring yourself out for someone who barely gives you a second thought. This isn't a game, and you're not here to play the role of some forgotten extra in their life story. You're a powerhouse, a force they've underestimated. So, why are you letting them hold the keys to your worth? Why are you allowing them to put a price tag on what you bring to the table? If they can't see your value, then it's time to stop waiting, stop hoping, and send them the loudest message of all: silence. Step back, stay silent, and let them feel what it's like to be without you. Let them finally experience the void they've taken for granted, the empty space they'll come to realize only you could fill. Here's the undeniable truth: what costs nothing is often worth nothing in their eyes. They know you'll be there, waiting, hoping, ready to accept whatever scraps of attention they throw your way. Why? Because you've made it easy for them. They're confident you'll keep showing up, checking your phone, hanging on to every tiny sign that they might actually care. But here's where things change: you're done being someone's backup plan, done being available at a moment's notice, and done settling for less than you deserve. Starting today, you're taking back your energy, reclaiming your peace, and refusing to be used, drained, and cast aside. It's time for you to stand tall, step back, and make them feel the space you're no longer filling. You need to understand that waiting is just another form of chasing, even if you're standing still. If you're holding on to hope that they'll return, you're still handing them the reins. It's time to reclaim that power. Today, you step back and go silent, not out of spite, but out of self-respect. You teach people how to treat you by what you allow. So, make it clear that your life doesn't revolve around their attention. Their approval doesn't define your worth, and your time is far too precious to spend on someone who refuses to see it. Let that silence speak for itself. Let it hit them like a ton of bricks when they realize you're no longer there, hanging on to every scrap. This isn't a game to get them back. This is a declaration that your energy now belongs where it always should have, on you. Imagine it. One day, they reach out, expecting you to be there, ready to respond the way you always have, like a light they could switch on and off at will. But this time, there's only silence. No messages to open. No calls returned. No comforting presence on standby. The steady, reliable flow of your care and attention has dried up, and it hits them like a sudden blackout. People rarely recognize the warmth and security of light until it disappears. And now, in the emptiness of that darkness, they're left to confront what they took for granted, forced to reckon with a void that feels so much deeper now that you're gone. The truth is, they may come running back, desperate to recover the energy, loyalty, and love they so carelessly ignored. They'll reach out, puzzled, uneasy, wondering what shifted, trying to understand why the light they once controlled is no longer there. But by then, it won't matter, because every ounce of energy you once poured into them is now directed where it should have been all along, toward yourself. The moment you chose yourself, you reclaimed your worth. And just like a moth drawn to a light it thought would never go out, they'll be drawn back, realizing far too late that the light was never theirs to control. So here's what you're going to do: reclaim every ounce of power you let slip through your fingers. You're done bending, done explaining, done giving them the privilege of easy access to your life. This is where your story takes a new turn, one that you're finally writing for yourself. As Marcus Aurelius once said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. And your thoughts, from here on out, are colored with strength, independence, and self-worth. You're cutting those puppet strings, freeing yourself from their hold, and when you step back, believe me, they'll feel every inch of the distance you create. The best part? You'll feel the strength of it too. This isn't revenge, it's liberation. It's realizing that your worth doesn't hinge on their approval, validation, or the crumbs they offer. They may try to guilt you, convince you that you're the one who's changed. But that's just another tactic to pull you back under their control. Silence is a source of great strength, said Lao Tzu. And your silence now speaks louder than any words ever could. Let it tell them that you're done with their games. You're choosing yourself, your peace, and your power over their inconsistent, half-hearted attention, and when they finally feel that absence, that hollow space where your presence once brought them comfort and reassurance, they'll be forced to confront the truth of what they've lost. As Epictetus once said, it's not what happens to you but how you react to it that matters. So now, instead of you reacting to their every whim, they're left wondering, aching for the connection they once took for granted. Going cold as stone is a silent statement that speaks louder than any words ever could. It's a form of power that tells them they no longer have a hold on you, no sway over your emotions. Each time they reach out, hoping to tap into that familiar warmth, they'll be met with a wall, one that reflects no vulnerability, no need for approval, no desperation. You're no longer the soft place they can lean on whenever it suits them. And believe me, they'll notice. They'll start to realize what they had and what they're now losing. When someone grows accustomed to warmth, even the slightest chill hits like a shock. Imagine them reaching out and finding only silence, only the impenetrable strength of someone who has reclaimed their power. The purpose of going cold is to remove any sense of predictability. They've relied on the idea that you'll always be there, that you'll respond, that you'll react, but now you've chosen to freeze that part of yourself, leaving them on the outside looking in. Relationships are often like open doors, with emotions flowing freely back and forth. But this time, that door's closed. You're done allowing them to draw you in with half-hearted gestures and vague promises. By going cold, you're forcing them to experience the chill of that closed door, and they'll feel the weight of it. Going cold as stone is more than a tactic, it's an unspoken commitment to your self-worth, to your peace, to living for yourself. Of course, it's not easy. Cutting off your warmth, shutting down those old patterns, takes strength and resolve. There might be moments when you feel tempted to reach out, to let that warmth seep through again. That's natural, but here's the thing, if you want to reclaim your power, you have to resist that urge. Picture the stone again. Does it bend? Does it give in? No. It stands firm, rooted deeply, unaffected by the storms that pass by. This is your chance to become that stone. They'll feel the cold. They'll sense the distance. And trust me, it will haunt them. They'll start wondering what went wrong, replaying conversations, second-guessing their choices, all because you've chosen to be something they can no longer touch or control. Let's think of it as a mirror. When they look at you now, they're seeing themselves reflected back, their choices, their actions, the way they've treated you. All of it is there in the cold reflection of your silence. No more warmth to soften the blow. No more comforting presence to fall back on. This is about letting them sit with the reality they've created. You're no longer absorbing their emotional swings, no longer accommodating their whims. Instead, they're met with the chill of someone who's done playing by their rules. We suffer more in imagination than in reality, said Seneca, and this step forces them to grapple with the reality they've avoided. Now they'll be the ones to feel the unease, the discomfort of the silence you've left behind. How do you go cold? Start by removing their access to your emotions. Limit interactions. Keep responses short, if you respond at all. Do not explain your silence or justify your actions. If they probe, stay indifferent. When they reach out, resist the urge to react, to fill the silence. Each time you hold back, you're reinforcing the wall of stone you're building around yourself. This isn't about playing games. It's about setting a boundary they can feel but can't cross. And that boundary will become the reminder of what they've lost and what they never fully appreciated. The transformation won't happen overnight. There will be times you want to give in, to let your guard down. Remember this: every time you choose to stay silent, every time you choose coldness over warmth, you're reclaiming a part of yourself. You're taking back the energy, time, and love you used to give so freely, and with each step, they feel the distance more sharply, until all they're left with is the reality that they lost something they never truly valued. This step is not for the faint of heart. But neither are you. This is for those who know that their worth doesn't depend on anyone's recognition. This is for those ready to reclaim every ounce of strength they gave away. Going cold as stone is the ultimate test of self-control, of knowing that your silence can make a deeper impact than any words ever could. You're creating a void that they can't fill, a space that only they can recognize they caused. And that absence? It will haunt them, leaving them craving the warmth they used to dismiss so casually. So embrace this step. Commit to it fully. This is just the beginning of a journey to reclaiming your power, to stepping back and staying silent, and letting them come running. Remember this: you're not being cold out of revenge. You're being cold out of respect for yourself. Drop an affirmation below to reinforce it: I am unshakable. I am untouchable. Let this be your mantra as you build that stone wall. And keep this in your mind as you move forward. We're just getting started, so stick with me to the end. If you're ready to master the art of reclaiming your power and worth, if you're ready to make them feel the emptiness of your absence, then stick around. We've only begun this journey. Set fire to the safety net. Let's get real about something that few people want to admit. When you make yourself their safety net, you're signing up to be taken for granted. If they always know you'll be there to pick up the pieces, to support them when they fall, then they have zero incentive to treat you with the respect you deserve. Why would they? You've made it so easy, so comfortable, but here's the hard truth: it's time to set fire to that safety net and let them stand on their own. You need to ignite that bridge, watch it turn to ash, and let them feel the sting of losing the one person who always had their back. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. If your thoughts are always revolving around being there for them, even when they've disrespected your worth, then your soul takes on the color of dependence, of waiting, of becoming the default fallback. Burn that safety net and let it be known that your time, your energy, and your loyalty are privileges, not guarantees. When you make this move, it's more than just stepping back. It's a signal to them, and more importantly to yourself, that you value your peace, your worth, and your boundaries over their comfort. Imagine you're standing on the edge of a cliff, holding a lifeline that connects you to them. Every time they stumble, every time they feel unsure, they yank on that lifeline, knowing you'll hold tight. But what if you were to release that rope? What if you dropped it entirely and let them see what it's like to stand on their own? This isn't about leaving them in a free fall. It's about giving them the space to realize that without you holding that rope, they're forced to confront their own actions, their own mistakes. Suddenly, they're left facing a reality they took for granted, and that absence, your absence, echoes louder than words ever could. Setting fire to the safety net means no longer rushing in to solve their problems, to be the first person they call. The comfort they assume will always be there. They need to feel what it's like without you as their emotional safety blanket. And yes, it may be hard, especially if you're used to playing that role. But remember, growth isn't about staying in the familiar. True strength is found in taking steps that feel uncomfortable, even painful, to let others experience the consequences of their actions. Let's bring it into perspective with a story. Imagine you're a lighthouse, always shining to guide their ship safely back to shore no matter how far they drift. They sail away time and again, taking risks, making questionable choices, always assuming that whenever they decide to return, your light will still be there to guide them. But what if one night, as they start heading back, your light isn't there? Imagine their panic, their confusion as they realize that this time, they must navigate alone. They'll have to grapple with the ocean without the comfort of your unwavering beam to guide them. This sudden absence shakes them to the core. They'll come to realize that they relied too heavily on something they never truly valued. And that realization, that's the catalyst for them understanding exactly what they've lost. If they've come to rely on you always waiting to fix their messes or be their emotional crutch, you're robbing them of the chance to grow, to stand on their own, and ultimately, to see your true worth. This act of letting go, of burning the safety net, may feel ruthless at first, but it's essential. Without it, they'll never fully grasp the impact of your presence, because they've never truly felt the reality of your absence. Now, I know this may sound extreme, and you might wonder, what if they don't come back? What if they move on? Let me tell you this, if they can walk away without ever recognizing what you were to them, then they weren't meant to stay in the first place. This step isn't about forcing them to come back, it's about you stepping into your power. And if they do come back, and they will feel the weight of that silence, you'll know it's because they've realized just how irreplaceable your presence truly was. Setting fire to the safety net is about standing tall in your worth. It's not easy, but nothing powerful ever is. Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. When you decide to let go, to stop being their fallback, they may not understand at first. They may call you distant or accuse you of changing. Let them. Let them misjudge, misunderstand, and miscalculate. Your silence and distance will teach them more than explanations ever could. So, when you feel the urge to rush back, to be the dependable one, remind yourself that this is your time to step back. Every moment you spend holding someone else up without appreciation is a moment taken from building your own strength. Drop the rope, let go of the constant reassurance, and watch as they scramble to regain the stability you once provided so freely. They'll come running back, trying to reconnect, realizing too late what they so carelessly ignored. But you'll be standing tall, stronger than ever, surrounded by the peace of knowing that you no longer need their recognition to validate your worth. This is just one step in reclaiming your power, but it's a profound one. Embrace it fully, feel its strength, and let it transform the way you see yourself. Write this down as your affirmation: I am no one's safety net. I am my own priority, my own strength, and I choose myself. Drop that affirmation in the comments below, because committing it to writing makes it real. This is just the start of our journey together, a journey toward mastering the art of reclaiming your power and worth. We're just getting started, and each step will bring you closer to the life you deserve. So stick with me till the end of this journey. If you're ready to see them come running after you, to see them realize what they've lost, stay tuned for the next step. Because we're only just beginning. Become the blackout. Imagine for a moment that you're the steady, unwavering light in someone's life, a source they've come to rely on without a second thought. But instead of gratitude, they offer complacency. They assume you'll always be there, like a street lamp they barely notice until the power cuts out. Now, it's time to pull that switch, to become the blackout. No more light. No more warmth. No more instant availability. They'll be left in the pitch dark, grappling with the sudden emptiness where your presence used to be, feeling your absence like a chill that won't let up. Becoming the blackout means withdrawing every bit of the energy you've poured into someone who's taken it for granted. In relationships, it's common to keep giving, hoping they'll recognize your worth. But Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher, reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. In other words, don't spend your energy trying to convince someone of your value. Instead, reclaim that energy and channel it into your own growth. Becoming the blackout isn't about revenge or manipulation, it's about showing, through silence, that your presence was a gift, not a guarantee. Picture them in the dark, reaching out for you, suddenly realizing that the light they once ignored is gone. They'll start to feel that void, that undeniable sense of loss that only surfaces when something valuable is no longer within reach. This step is powerful because it breaks the habit of you being readily available. It shifts the balance. they'll begin to question why you're no longer there, and that question will spark a desire, a craving, even a desperation, to get back what they once took for granted. The blackout reveals how essential your presence was, not through words, but through absence. But stepping back like this isn't always easy. You might feel tempted to reach out, to check in, to bring back even a flicker of the connection you once shared. Yet, remember, this step isn't about waiting for them to notice and come running. It's about taking your power back and letting go of the need for their recognition. A blackout doesn't flicker on and off, it's complete darkness, an absolute withdrawal that doesn't waver. Think of it like a storm that wipes out power across a city. The silence that follows is deafening. People sit in that darkness, and only then do they appreciate the light they lost. This is the effect you're creating. And once they experience it, they'll understand the depth of what they had. If it feels difficult, remind yourself why you're doing this. You're not here to be someone's backup plan, the fallback they can count on whenever it's convenient. Becoming the blackout is a choice rooted in self-respect, a way of saying, I will no longer be taken for granted. And while they're left wandering, you're busy recharging, investing that energy back into yourself, fueling your own growth and purpose. In the end, they're left facing the darkness alone, while you emerge stronger, more fulfilled, no longer depending on their approval. So embrace this blackout with full conviction. Let them feel that silence. Let them search for a light that isn't there. And let it ignite a realization they may have never expected. Keep this step in your mind and stick with me until the end. We're building something unbreakable here, one step at a time. Lock the vault. You've been an open vault, haven't you? Someone they could access whenever they pleased, spilling your emotions, sharing your thoughts, giving them all the parts of you they didn't even have to work for. But that ends here. It's time to lock the vault. Imagine your heart and mind as a precious bank vault filled with treasures, your peace, your love, your self-respect. You don't let just anyone waltz in and claim pieces of what you've carefully guarded. Seneca once said, hold every hour in your grasp. Grasp it and hold it tightly, because it escapes just as readily as any one of us. Your time, your energy, your essence, they're valuable, and they're yours to protect. Locking the vault means cutting off easy access to your thoughts, emotions, and vulnerabilities. It's about becoming that closed book, mysterious and powerful, rather than an open one they can read at their leisure. No more explaining yourself. No more offering glimpses of your inner world to someone who hasn't earned it. When you stop giving them entry, you create a shift. They'll feel that barrier, that locked door, and it'll drive them crazy because they've come to expect your vulnerability on demand. This silence, this sudden wall, speaks volumes. It tells them, I am no longer your backup, your emotional crutch, or the open book you can skim through whenever you need comfort. Let's make it clear, locking the vault isn't about being rude or distant. It's about showing respect for yourself. Imagine a beautiful ancient castle on a hill, its gates tall and impenetrable. People stand outside, yearning for a glimpse inside, but only those who truly respect its worth are ever allowed entry. When you lock your emotional vault, you become like that castle, magnificent and unreachable, except to those who truly value you. If they want entry, they'll have to earn it through respect, consistency, and genuine effort. This step isn't about ghosting or manipulation. It's about recognizing that not everyone deserves access to your heart, and it's time to set boundaries that protect your energy and peace. But yes, there will be moments when locking the vault feels challenging. You may feel the urge to reach out, to explain, to offer them another peek into your heart. After all, old habits are hard to break. But remember, Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The vault is about mastering yourself, not about controlling them. Each time you resist the urge to open up too easily, you're proving to yourself that you are in control of your peace. They'll notice your silence, and they'll wonder. You're creating a gap, a mystery, and that's where their curiosity will grow, where they'll realize what they've lost. Think about it like this: if you keep a rare gem in a vault, people admire it, they wonder about it, and they understand it's valuable. But if you toss that gem into the street, it becomes just another stone among countless others. By locking your vault, you're choosing to protect the parts of you that are precious. You're no longer giving away your worth for free. This silence isn't empty, it's filled with strength and purpose. So lock the vault, close the door, and let them feel the absence. This is about taking back control of your narrative and showing them that they don't get to access you on a whim. They'll realize that if they want to know what's inside, they'll need to prove themselves to value you the way you deserve. And remember, you don't owe anyone your vulnerability until they've shown they're worthy of it. Embrace this step fully. Lock down that access, and keep this image in your mind: you're no longer the open book, the backup plan, or the easy option. You are a fortress, a vault, and they'll have to work hard to ever be let back inside. Stick with me through this journey. Each step you take strengthens your power, and the more they feel that distance, the more they'll come running. Drop off their map. Imagine their world as a detailed map where they know exactly where you stand, every movement, every reaction, predictable. You've always been there, easily found and readily available, like a point on their GPS they assume will never change. Now it's time to disappear from their map entirely, leaving no trace of where they can find you. You're no longer a destination they can locate when it suits them. You've become the mystery, the question mark that lingers in the back of their mind. As Marcus Aurelius said, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When you pull back and drop off their map, you take control of their thoughts. You create a presence through absence, forcing them to confront just how significant your role was in their life. When you're no longer there, they'll feel a nagging emptiness, a compass that's lost its direction. It's a shock to their system as they're forced to navigate life without the certainty of your support. Picture it like a lighthouse on a stormy shore suddenly turning off its light. They're left alone, unsure of the path forward, and craving the guidance they took for granted. They'll feel every bit of that darkness you leave behind. If it feels difficult to pull away completely, remember that your silence is not about punishment but power. By choosing to step back, you're giving them the space to recognize what they lost. Each moment of silence is a moment where they reflect, where they come to terms with the irreplaceable energy you brought into their life. Stay committed to your silence, and watch as your absence becomes the very thing they can't ignore. You're not only creating distance, you're building respect. Let them come running, craving the very presence they thought they could always find. Become a mirage. Imagine becoming a mirage, visible but untouchable. A presence they can sense but never fully grasp. When you step back, stay silent, and turn yourself into something they can only glimpse, you become the mystery they can't shake. They'll reach out, thinking they've almost got you back, only to find that you're still just out of reach. This is a Stoic power move that flips the script, drawing them back while keeping them on the outside looking in. As Marcus Aurelius said, if you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. By becoming a mirage, you make them confront their own choices and realize the weight of what they lost. Think of it like a desert traveler chasing water in the heat. They think they're close to it, only to realize it's always just beyond their reach. This is the feeling you create when you pull back and go silent. Each time they think they've regained your attention, you remain untouchable, just like that shimmering oasis. They start to crave your presence more than ever, yet they're left questioning what they took for granted. This step taps into human psychology. We value most what we can't have. Your silence becomes magnetic, pulling them closer while keeping them at arm's length. If becoming a mirage feels challenging, remember that this isn't about playing games, it's about reclaiming your worth. Every time they feel you slip away, they'll feel the loss more deeply. Keep focused on your growth and your boundaries. When they come running, desperate for the presence they once took for granted, you'll be standing in your full power. You are the force they'll remember, the strength they never anticipated. Let them chase, let them yearn, and let them realize that you were the prize all along. If this message has resonated with you, please show your support by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. We're building a powerful community where we lift each other up and embrace our true worth. We'd love to hear from you. Share your story with us in the comments. Let us know the steps you're taking to reclaim your power and how this journey is unfolding for you. Thank you for being a part of this movement. Together, we're unstoppable.